Well, Mark, we are here. We are live streaming on YouTube once again. And we're very sorry that the Gazelle is not with us at the moment, but he has things that he's got to do. So what you got to do, you got to do. And that is it. And tonight we're going to be talking about the Trump effect. How about that?
Wow, some effect, isn't it?
Can you believe it? What he's been doing since he's been in?
Actually, I'm struggling to keep up with it all, to be honest, which is probably good because probably the enemy are probably really struggling to keep up.
Struggling. They're all really, really worried about exactly what's going on. I'm telling you now, they are worried. And as far as I'm concerned, they're going bust. So let's talk about it. Let's just say, as of today, Trump has signed 220 executive orders since taking office on January the 20th, 2025. And the figure includes orders, memoranda, and proclamations reflecting an unusually high pace of executive action in his first weeks. Now, tell me, you couldn't be able to do that in that amount of time if it wasn't planned. I mean, this guy has got his act together. What do you think?
Sure has, hasn't he, John? And he seems to have a way better team around him now who are absolutely smashing it.
Oh.
I mean, I think I saw something before. He only put about 15 out or something, didn't he, in his last term?
No, well, Biden signed 42 by this point in his term.
Trump was about 15, wasn't he?
Yeah. Obama 19 and Trump himself only 15 during his first term. That was it.
Yeah, he's learned his lesson.
Yeah, so, the focus is now on rapidly undoing everything that Biden era policies and implementing his agenda. That's it. He's just going hell for leather. And his support has gone up. Has gone up. And people are saying, oh, the Democrats are saying, oh, no, we're going to attack. We're going to do this and stuff like that. Bullshit. It isn't happening. So
they're trying, but I don't think they're going to be able to keep up, mate, because they'll challenge one order and then he says, well, there you go, challenge that one and that one. And he's just going to bombard them to the point where they're not going to be able to keep up. I mean, the media can't keep up with what's going on. I'm sure we're going to miss some stuff on here too.
Oh, they won't. Over here, they won't be reporting on it because they don't want the British to see exactly what the Americans are actually getting now.
Yeah, so, I was talking about the American media. They're struggling to keep up with it all.
And also, if you look at all the mainstream media that were against him, they're losing viewers. Nobody's watching them. Nobody's.
Did they have any to lose, John?
I totally agree.
Viewers. They got viewers off the app. All right. Where did they come from?
probably us in our small way have got more viewers than some of them. But anyway, President Trump has signed a substantial number of executive orders, memoranda, proclamations aimed at reshaping federal policy across multiple domains. The effects of these actions are varied, with some facing legal challenges and others already influencing government operations. Okay, now we're going to go through with our version of a breakdown of the main executive orders and their intended effects based on the available information that we've got. Now, we're very interested in what Trump is doing because we know that people in this country want a piece of that action. And you've said this before. You've said it. They want a piece of this action that's going on. I mean, and I saw evidence of it, and you pointed it out today, a story that's going out from the government about 19,000 people being deported. 19,000? Out of how many, Mark, that are in London alone? I think it's about something like about 500,000.
It's not even touching the sides, is it?
No.
I know, but I think I saw Farage and he said that a lot of these people aren't being told to leave, they're choosing to leave. They're probably paying them, aren't they? He's probably spending more of our money to get rid of them.
But what's getting me is some of these people here are actually going on holiday back to the countries that they actually claimed asylum from.
And that's when you shut the gate. Sorry, you're not coming back, like, to that.
What kind of madness is that?
I don't know.
And it's showing it up. It's showing it up.
Should we look at some of the stuff he's done with immigration?
Please do. Go ahead.
About that. Well,
get moving on it, sir. Get moving on it.
Oh my God, you have to bear with me. Like a list of all the stuff he's. I am convinced he's been cloned because he can't do all this. Honestly, he's done more in a month or so than Labour could ever dream of doing in the whole term. But anyway, so I've picked up some of my favourites. He's threatened to prosecute local officials who obstruct immigration enforcement. Standard. Yeah. I would, yeah. He's got troops on the border. We've seen that. He's cancelled flights for refugees already approved to travel to the US. He's not messing around, is he, John?
No, he's not.
I think the one he's going to have a trouble with is ending birthright citizenship. They're already challenging that one because that comes under the Constitution, I think. So,
well, that's a difficult one because if you actually look into it, the thing is, if a child is born in the States, in America, then they automatically become an American citizen. But the problem is the rest of the family are not American citizens, and they came in illegally. So that is the problem that people would have trying to understand the reason why he's against it. So what I would say is one way out of it is to actually turn around and say, well, okay, when the child reaches a suitable age, then they can claim their American citizenship then, but not now. And that would be one answer to it. And as far as I'm concerned, yes, that might be an answer. But I think for now, block.
Definitely.
Get them out.
He's also revoked Biden's extension of protection for Venezuelans. It seems like Biden's done a lot of stuff here in the background to make it very easy for all this mass immigration. He's also signed, I like this one, the Laken-Riley Act into law. Now, this is a bill that requires the detention of migrants who enter the country without authorization and are arrested or charged with certain crimes. Standard again, isn't it? Yep. And then he said, obviously, he's going to shove them all in Guantanamo Bay.
Well,
that's a good start, isn't it?
To put it into perspective, Trump has revoked 78 executive actions from the Biden administration. Policies on diversity, equity, and inclusion, climate initiatives, and immigration enforcement, which you so ably were starting to point out.
Yeah, did you mention climate? Oh, sorry, go on.
The effect is a rollback of programs deemed radical by the Democrats.
Well, they are.
And all he wants to do is dismantle the DEI frameworks and the climate-focused regulations. That's what he's looking to do.
Oh, well, while you're on DEI, I've just got that bit on my list. This is one that probably appeals to us because, my God, we've been banging on about this. So,
hey, what's your pronoun?
I don't care. I was going to say it slightly differently.
My pronoun is
stick to YouTube's terms.
Shit.
Yeah, well, mine was going to be worse than that, but couldn't give two flips. But anyway, so he's terminated diversity, equity, and inclusion programs across the federal government. Bob on. After that plane incident, he's directed the Federal Aviation Administration to halt DEI hiring practices, and he's ordered a review of all FAA hiring decisions. And then he's ordered diversity efforts to be shut down. Job's gone. See you later.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, it's
as easy as that.
Drastic move where they turn up for work and then all of a sudden they haven't got a job. I mean, I saw a meme on there on TikTok of a guy crying and he's going, I turned up for work this morning and they wouldn't let me in. I mean, I have to find out for the American people if the wheels on the bus go round and round. I'm thinking, what could actually sum it up more than that? There is nothing. I mean, there are pointless jobs that people are getting paid a lot of money for.
Hundreds and thousands of them by the sounds of all this. And we haven't even started with this. We've got a long way to go already here, haven't we?
Well, what are we going to do over here? I mean, if everybody's seeing it, so Labour have got to move. They've got to actually start putting out things to show that, we are doing something about this. And, we've deported 19,000, as we said earlier on. A drop in the ocean compared to how many they've let in. and they're continuing to let in, are they going to, and I ask this in all seriousness, Statsman, are they going to stop those dinghies in the middle of the channel and send them back to France?
Oh, the heck.
Allez!
Do you know what? I'm going to do a little sum later and I'm going to work out. Do you know what? I am quite confident that they've probably let in more people in the time that they've deported the 19,000.
You reckon?
I'm going to see if I can work it out. It might take a while to get the figures for the year or something, but you'll be able to work that out soon. I'm telling you, just because you've got rid of 19,000 doesn't mean like 30,000 haven't arrived in the last couple of months. You know what I mean?
I'd love to be on those boats and go,
oh, God.
Allez, pissez!
Well, think about it this way, mate. If 1.2 million people came into the country in a year, I think you can work that out, what that is a month.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll be getting it. So
they're gaslighting us again, John, aren't they?
Your views, obviously, on the way that Trump has dealt with border security and immigration. No, and because there's been multiple orders on that. I mean, you've seen the effect of what happened with Mexico. And also, it's no longer the Gulf of Mexico, it's the Gulf of America.
I've seen that,
yeah. Yeah, we are now going over the Gulf of America. And Trump turned around and said, he did a good job there. That was good.
I'm convinced half this stuff's just Trump trolling his enemy, but it works a treat because while they're distracted about whinging about the Gulf, he's doing all this other stuff. You know what? He's playing them at their own game. Do you know what? It's really good. So what have we done? We've done immigration. There's a couple on the environment that I picked up on. There's a 60-day pause on approvals of all renewable energy development on public land.
Let me just tell you something before you go into that. I mean, did you see Trump turning around and saying he's bringing back plastic straws? He said, has anybody tried? No. He said, having a drink, a McDonald's drink or something like that. I mean, he pushes American business all the time. He said, with a paper straw.
Oh, it's awful, mate.
He said, it's soggy and it disintegrates before you finish the drink. He went, nah.
The drinks don't taste right, though, John. I used to buy lots of drinks, and I'm going to name the brands like Ribena and things like that. And
Ribena, proper English. You are proper English, sir.
Yeah, and Capri Suns and things like that. Like for me and my son and that, well, I've not bought them since it's gone paper straws. I won't buy anything like that anymore.
It just doesn't work, does it? I can't get over it. Sorry, go ahead.
Energy and environment. Me a problem anyway. Yeah, so he's done the pause, hasn't he? 60-day pause on approvals for all renewable energy development on public land. And of course, he's out the Paris Climate Accord. So there you go. And then if you add all the drill, baby, drill and all the stuff to it, then it's looking good.
I love all those things. Everything has got a punch. Drill, baby, drill. I love it. It's exactly what we were saying with Mandy Claire the other week, right? Mandy Claire for mayor. Yes.
The thing is, this is filtering down now. You've got Reform and other people banging on about the same thing. We need our own energy. It's common sense, isn't it? Let's face it.
Of course it is.
You can't rely on this renewable nonsense. Well, I'm not having everything dictated to by this climate scam obsession, whatever you want to call it. I've got a couple of things on trade. Have you got anything? He's halted deliveries to the US from China and Hong Kong.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, that's like, well, you've got your tariffs and now boom. Don't send us anything.
Well, I was telling something to somebody who was from Meta the other night, not boasting or anything like that. I'm just saying, turning around to him and saying to him, look, Trump paraded, all of them, all the social media giants in front. He had them front row at his inauguration. Is it, to tell everybody, they're dancing to my tune now. Okay. Get the message out, okay? And I was thinking, like, no condoms, no Vaseline, no nothing. They were just put out there.
It wasn't a P. Diddy party, was it?
No. Well. They're just out there, and that's it. And that, you can't get any better than that to actually turn around and saying to him, this is the way it's going to be. And what I wanted to know, and I did put out a message. I wanted to know whether or not, and I know we're going to come on to this subject, but I wanted to know whether any of the social media received any funding from USAID, to do the things that they do I want to know if that was the case, because that would account for the way that the CIA were involved with Meta.
Maybe, John, that might be one of the reasons why they've all of a sudden flipped. And he's come out now. Well, we're gonna touch on the USAID in a bit, aren't we? At the end, and we're going to go some of this stuff's insane. But
go back to the tariffs.
Maybe that's the reason why he's not released any information on them, and they've all suddenly flipped. And he said, "Look, my side, or well, this comes out."
Yeah, maybe it could be that, because look how many people that were involved during the Biden era in CIA that have been fired.
Yeah, we're definitely going to come on to that in a minute. But yeah,
Indeed.
Another one that appealed to me. He's halted financial aid to South Africa and called for the resettling of the white Afrikaans refugees into the US.
What a brilliant way to say to them, look, if you don't follow our policy, all we're going to do is we're basically going to attack your economy, because we're going to take away the food producers and then out of your place.
But that benefits America, because then they've got a lot of farmers who are going to be really happy to farm, being left alone to do the job that they love doing.
That's right. And they'll do a good job as well, because, South Africa has been known as the breadbasket of that side of the globe.
I've just thought of something as well, mate. So while all these dipsticks are running around going, ceasefire now, stop the genocide, he's actually stopping one.
He is.
Honestly,
he is actually doing it.
You wouldn't be able to write this stuff.
Well, Ramaphosa's got to do something. I mean, they are sending a lot of diplomats to America to say, look, this is not the case. We are not appropriating land from the white farmers in South Africa. Now, that's not the message that's coming back to America from intelligence. And that's the reason why. And I've even raised the point to say that we have companies in this country who are using South African call centers. And those South African call centers have to support the government. Otherwise, they do not remain in business. So I think a message should be going out to all those UK corporates that use South African call centers. You better start following suit, because if you've got any interest in America, Trump will find out about it.
Yeah,
and he will do something.
Let's face it, the gaslighting everyone again. It's been all over the media that what they've been doing to the white farmers. We've done podcasts on it, last year, year before, and now it's all of a sudden, no, there's nothing going on. Honestly, these people must think we're stupid, and that's how we win, because they're the ones who are actually stupid. Oh, can I go on to one of my favourite topics next?
Go ahead, sir.
The trans issue. I say one of my favourite topics. You know what I mean? I'd rather it wasn't a topic at all. And
this comes under gender and social policies.
Oh, call it what you want, but it's the trans stuff. So he's smashing it with this. So bear with us. So he's required trans women to be housed in prisons for men.
Did you notice there was one other thing? I know this is your favourite subject, but
it's not. But it is. If you know
a Democrat politician was referred to in Congress as "Sir." You have the floor, sir.
Well,
Mr. And he identifies as a woman, this guy, but they refer to him as Mr.
We can't keep changing the rules. Look, he's ordered the removal of third gender options on IDs.
So no pronouns.
He's backed up what no, I mean, there's male and female. You're not a penguin. You're not the moon. You're not
you're not a llama.
A llama. How did you beat me to that one? We'll come back to that one later.
I feel alarmed and distressed.
So he's sticking to his words. He said there's only two genders and bump, done. You come up with your ID saying,
what are they going to do over here now that people are seeing that? What's going on in America?
I know what they do, John. I know what they do. They double down and then they employ a new health minister who thinks you can be a llama. Honestly, they're going to do the opposite of what Trump does. It's going to destroy them, and I can't wait. So what have we got next?
Nuts.
He's making moves now, isn't he, to push transgender people out of the military.
Great. Get him out.
This is the best one for me. He's restricted gender-affirming treatments for minors. Basically, what he means is the drugs and the operations to mutilate the genitals in their bodies.
Yeah, that's absolute.
gender affirming care, but that's the left's way of making something despicable sound nice. Sorry, too many names. Required federal workers to remove, seeing as you mentioned it, pronouns from their emails. It's just little things, but it all adds up, mate, doesn't it?
I absolutely love it. I love it. I think it's the only way to go.
I'd go one step further and I'd force people to put pronouns again, but make them hilariously funny ones like we were doing before. Like, I couldn't give a damn. And just mock it, basically. What else has he done? Aim to prevent transgender students from participating in women's sports. Good. He's hitting all the things, and he's opened investigations related to an executive order on. Sorry, he's opening investigations. So he's done an executive order, and it's about transgender athletes. So I think he's trying to just actually get all the information just to prove, look, this isn't fair.
What are the Olympic Committee going to do? I mean, because they are really, really DEI-ified. And, they are okay in these things. Do they think they're powerful enough to be able to take on a policy of this nature in America? Do they?
Well, if America ever win a bid for the Olympics, then that's when it ends, isn't it? Let's face it, because they're like when they all went to Qatar and that, they weren't allowed to do the whole rainbow thing and everything. In fact, it all just disappeared for that World Cup, didn't it? Funnily enough, and
indeed,
no one made a fuss. I think our Juggies Lineker, he had a little chat about it, but he was still there taking their money in their studios.
Correct.
So he's not in for the full fight. What have we got left? We've got the military. We've got all the people. Do you know what? There's loads and loads of stuff left, but I don't know how we are for time.
They've frozen hiring except for the military and security roles, and reinstated Schedule F to reduce job protections for civil servants, which makes it easier for them to fire them. And they're going to streamline the government operations and increase accountability, but could disrupt federal workforce stability. Well, that's it. I mean, you got to break an egg to create an omelet. It's as simple as that. So there's nothing you can do. Pardons and clemency. Trump has pardoned over 1,500 individuals involved in the January 6th Capitol riot and commuted sentences for members of groups like the Oath Keepers and Proud Boys. That sparked controversy, with critics arguing it undermines the rule of law. I don't think so.
Look, the controversy should have been when they were all put in prison for some of them for next to nothing. Some of them, some of them did fight with police and break into the Capitol. But 4 or 5 years later, they're in squalid conditions and in Ming prison.
How do we know that those police weren't plants by the Biden administration to cause the problems?
There's been some evidence that's the case. There was a guy there, I forget his name, Ray Epps or someone. He was there. He was the one instigating it all, and he's never been put in prison. And everyone knows who he is. But I like some of the stuff he's done with the military here. He wants a system like Israel's, the missile defense.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think they're going to probably need one at some point. This one's great. Johnny's reinstated all the people from the military who were chucked out for not having that stupid vaccine.
Brilliant. And has he backdated their pay?
Not too sure.
Well, if I were him, I would have backdated their pay as well, because it was just so unfair. They had to make a choice. It's their body. They made a choice, and that was it.
Yeah. So I've got one more military thing. See, the Americans now under Trump are that much on the ball. You know exactly where Islamic State are, and they're in Somalia, and he's bombing them. And everyone, no, honestly, John, once they come from the Middle East, they've just gone across to Africa, to East Africa, and they've been left alone, mate, basically, to run riot. But Trump's like, nah, I thought I'd finished you, so I'm coming back for another go. So,
brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I like that. Now, what's your view on the, the executive orders about inflation and consumer relief? Because they've said there's an order that directs agencies to deliver emergency price relief to combat inflation. And it's not quite clear about all the specifics, but the intent is to address rising costs through implementation. And it may take some time and face bureaucratic challenges. Now, I know what he's talking about. He's talking about food prices there. He wants to bring those food costs down. And also, he wants to attack the insurers who are bumping up prices, on people who have had problems. Say, for example, with the bad weather that they've experienced, with the housing and the fires and all the rest of that stuff. Well, the insurance companies have run riot, haven't they? And I think he's taken a close look at them. And it's right to have a businessman there because he can actually go straight to the corporates, speak to the CEO and go, all right, if you're going to do this, we'll do this. You need to bring those prices down because that's not right. I understand about your bottom line, but you need to bring those prices down because we need to get those people up and running. They're people that we're talking about.
They
not
are
dollars, people. And I think he's probably going to be speaking to them very, very harshly. And you see, if they want to take out a company, that market could be immediately taken over by another company with no problem whatsoever. So, for example, if Meta didn't play ball, they could be closed down and made so difficult, and then another company come in straight away and fill in the gap. And it's as simple as that. And they know that. Yeah. That's why they're all playing ball, in that respect. Right? Second Amendment protections. Okay? We're talking about an order that directs the Department of Justice to review actions from 21 to 25 that may infringe on Second Amendment rights and develop plans to safeguard lawful gun ownership. That's what the Second Amendment is about. So the First Amendment is your right to your opinion, and the Second Amendment is your right to back
defend
up that opinion,
which we've kind of got in our Constitution, but they've just done a massive big wheel over it and set it on fire afterwards.
So
would that even work? I don't know.
Okay,
the other way around.
TikTok was brought back straight away. It was paused, and then boom, it was back. So obviously, there's been some talk behind the scenes, and a regulatory freeze halted new rules and paused federal grants and loans temporarily through confusion led to clarifications. The aim to review and align regulations with Trump's agenda targeting Biden-era policies like the Green New Deal. So this is leading us on to Dodge.
It will do. What he's done though here is he's disbanded a task force that was intended to prevent foreign influence in US elections. Now the lefties are going to go, oh my God, you can't do that. What he's done is he's got rid of the group who were pretending that there was interference by Trump and the Russians and all this. He's got rid of them. So when you actually look into it and realize what's going on, then you'll know why. And then that moves on to the possible planned purge of the FBI. It's going to be tasty. So should we go on to Dodge then? Should we finish with Dodge? I know there's a lot. I've got a little
Department of Government Efficiency. We need that at the Foreign Commonwealth Office. We need that.
I know we've both got a list of a lot of other stuff, but we'd be here all week trying to cover all this. So we'll go on to Dodge. So Dodge is as you just said, the Department of Government Efficiency. So he's got Elon Musk now, basically cleaning the shop, taking out the trash. And they found, and this was according to, what's his name? I forget his name now. One of the congressmen or senators. Anyway, he said they found considerable waste, fraud, and abuse in just 2 weeks. Do you want me to go through some of it?
Oh, please do.
Honestly, pay attention to this, people who are listening, and tell me, is this going on in our country? Are we doing the same? Because we're going to find out. So,
go ahead.
These are just some of the examples. $1.5 million pushing DEI in Serbia's workplaces. $2 million on sex changes in Guatemala. Sorry, what?
How does that align with US interests?
Well, it gets worse, John. $6 million for tourism in Egypt. Although by the look of it, it's been paying for hundreds of thousands of meals for Al-Qaeda affiliated fighters in Syria. And they've been funding the production, and I've said this before, of opium in Afghanistan. These people are fueling the world's heroin, and they're calling Trump the bad man. These people got more. These people are evilly got more front than Brighton. $1 million to help disabled people in Cheshire, or I don't know. I don't even know how you say half these countries. Tajikistan, that's the one.
Tajikistan, yeah.
So the 1 million to help disabled people in that country, easy for you to say, to become climate leaders.
What the hell? Again, I asked the question, how does that align with US interests?
It doesn't, John, but it's lying in someone's pocket somewhere along the lines because it's not going on. Climate leaders. Now it's starting to get worse again. 1 million to Hamas-linked charities. 15 million for condoms to the Taliban. I can kind of see their thinking, though.
You don't want more Taliban, so give them a condom.
Have less children, Taliban.
But 15 million, that's a lot of condoms, baby.
That's not gone on condoms, has it?
No.
No, because all the weapons that the Taliban's had all ended up where Gaza. But anyway, Gaza. 20 million. And this is no way this cost 20 million. 20 million for a Sesame Street show in Iraq. Because I believe they're
a Sesame Street show?
Mate, they've been screaming for Big Bird and Oscar and that, haven't they, for years, mate? Cookie Monster and that. But they're paying the full price, 20 million. So that's a cheap Sesame Street show. 40 million to build schools in Jordan. Jordan have got armies and everything, mate. What? Really? 11 million to stop Vietnam burning trash. I mean, really? 2 million to trans agencies to deliver gender-affirming care. Didn't say where. Probably all over the place. 43 million for DEI scholarships in Burma. Yeah, right, whatever.
In Burma?
I wonder where that money really went, John. 520 million for consultant-driven ESG. ESG investments in Africa. I hate that stuff. 70,000. It's getting a bit less now. 70,000 for DEI musical in Ireland.
In Ireland?
Can they not
don't talk to me about that government over there. They are.
Well, I'll move on then to Colombia.
A bunch of shits. They really
move on
are.
to Colombia then. 47,000 on a trans musical in Colombia. 32,000 on a trans comic in Peru. How big's this comic, mate? I thought they meant comet because they're pretty big. We probably cost, but no, they said comic books. Honestly, I want to go there, but a war reading this out. 7.6 million to protect biodiversity in South Africa. Well, whatever.
To hell with that.
Yeah, to hell with it all, to be honest. 44.8 million to help Venezuelan migrants in Colombia. I can see probably they're trying to stop them coming to America, but I mean, they're still going to come once they've spent that money. 1.3, here we go again with this. 1.3 million supporting LGBT people in Macedonia. They've missed some letters off there, didn't they? But anyway, moving on.
Have you noted that the LGB people have separated, from the LGBTIQ plus element of P? They've separated.
The P tried, mate, but even that was too much for the alphabet people, the P. You can imagine what that stood for.
Yeah, they don't want the connection with them, right? Because the LGB side only recognize male and female, right? And sexual orientation. They're not interested in the trans and all the rest of that stuff in the pedophiles. So they feel that they've been hijacked. Anyway, that was just
I think I'm going to end this now. There was 1.9 million for the same LG blah, 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 in the Balkans because I believe they're screaming out for it too. Dinner ladies dressed as men reading out weird books to children. I've heard it's all the rage in the Balkans. Anyway, to be honest, this is just a massive gravy train, this, John, for a lot of people to get rich off spreading these bonkers ideologies. But there's a bigger picture going on. A lot of these countries, this money's been found being sent to by USAID. Don't say USAID because that's the thing they want you to say, but it's not. They've been found to be spent on political interference. Now, some of these countries like Brazil, Colombia, Chile, Libya, Ukraine and all that really smell a rat with this. And there's apparently links to elections. So there's suspicions in these countries, and this has come from various sources. That's the CIA have been using USAID as a way to get into their countries, create opposition groups, and fund them to topple regimes, which, to be honest, it fits their MO, doesn't it, with the left? Yeah. Well, while they're up to something, they'll point the finger the other way and accuse someone else, like Trump, you're a Russian spy, while they're literally doing it like on steroids.
Yeah.
So, the Democrats are the worst for it. I mean, but what's Trump doing about it? So he's pushed out a Treasury official who denied Elon Musk's access. And I believe they're trying to stop them from accessing databases.
Oh, they're getting all sorts of legal actions going to try and do it. But I mean, Trump
Yeah.
can just create another executive order and
Well,
cause them a problem.
He's going hard, Johnny. He's punished US AID officials for denying the access to his team. So he's pushed them out. He's punished them. He's moved to just dismantle the whole damn thing, and he's forced all employees to go on leave until the 7th. And I think they've took on about maybe 300 out of tens of thousands. Tens of thousands have gone.
That's it. I've asked on X, for all British firms that have received income from USAID, and especially the BBC.
Well, the BBC have admitted their BBC Media Action Group charity that goes around the world pushing. Well, what do they push, John?
Well, there you go. I mean, I wouldn't trust the BBC as far as I can throw them. Because they are not unbiased. There is no way that they are unbiased. Everything that I see from them has an agenda. And if they don't like it when I'm saying it, I'm telling the truth. There is nothing, in my opinion, to say that they are unbiased. The one thing that they have going for them is technically they are one of the best broadcasters in the world, and their techniques that they utilize in order to deliver that information is the best. Now, what I am questioning is the information that they are delivering and the slant on that information that's going on. And if they're getting funded by not only UK tax pounds, and they're also getting money from USAID, whose side were they on?
Not ours.
Not ours, as far as I'm concerned. And why do the BBC have to have a charity? Because all it reminds me of in this country is local democracy reporters that are reporting for press in this country for big firms like Trinity and other firms. They are called local democracy reporters, and they are funded by the BBC. Now, I'm just wondering, is that funding for them still going to continue in the light that they say that they've lost 8% of their funding? They've lost 8%. Now, how many of the other charities, in one way or another, that have received USAID have actually also contributed to BBC Media Action? So it might not just be 8%. That's what I'm saying. They could be getting indirectly money from USAID from lots of different sources around the world to fund these things. I wouldn't trust them as far as I could throw them. As far as I'm concerned, they need to be defunded in this country, and they need to stand on their own 2 feet and see if the people of this country really do want to pay for them. Go ahead, Mark.
Absolute trash. Yeah, they actually admit that they're funded by, you can go fund me. Yeah, that's not going to be a big part of it. Governments, corporations, and donors.
All right.
And by the look of this, a lot of countries are getting money off this scam from America. So I think that's how they were getting a lot of their money, that BBC charity. And I reckon there's going to be a lot of donors who have been very rich off all this. Do you know, remember the old, what was it? COVID. I forget what it's called now. You know, how all the protection stuff and everything went missing and all the money.
Oh, yeah.
That makes this look, all this makes that look like nothing. Like a drop in the ocean.
A drop in the ocean. Well, apparently, Labour was setting up a czar to look into all of that. We've heard nothing. I mean, I think that when I look at what's going on at Labour and what they're doing, I think they're just reacting like rabbits in headlights. They literally are thinking, how do we cling on to power? That's all it is. And everything that you're seeing that are coming through every government office is basically trying to mimic what's going on in the US under Trump, because they know that Trump could actually, Trump could cripple this country. There's no doubt about it. And like South Africa, he doesn't have to put tariffs on them. All he can do is he can do it through other means. Like he's offered them, the African farmers, refugee status in America.
Never mind them, John. What about us?
I know. Yeah, we all. Yeah. Hey, President Trump, we all want to come to America. Well, I could go. I'm okay because I'm a U.S. citizen as well. So
just give me a little piece of land, just big enough to go shoot a load of guns and stuff, and I don't know. I'll ride a horse. Never done that before.
What do we get over here? You get a little piece, that you could actually maybe grow a few potatoes. Like 6 foot by 6 foot. That's it. That's the max that you get.
Yeah, you're gonna have to grow your own. We're probably all gonna have to grow our own potatoes soon. All the farmers are kicking off today, aren't they? Again?
Oh yes, absolutely.
This wretched government, but maybe we'll touch on that later in the week.
Yeah. So you can see exactly why the Starmer government, the Starmer administration, is absolutely, and to put it in a very English way, bricking it, because they're seeing everything that America are doing. And they know that we're actually receiving the information and the news about it. And they're saying, we want a piece of that. Starmer can't match up to that.
No, they're not going to give us a piece of that. They're going to do the opposite. They're going to do the total opposite, as has been proved today with the appointment of some absolute woke crank, which we'll probably do a podcast on as well.
Yeah, we will do. We will do. So anyway, that's America taken care of, to let everybody know what's going on. America. Yeah, we want that. All right. I don't want to be the 53rd state, over there. Yes, I'm a dual national and I love what they're doing over here, but I want that to be the norm over here. And I want them to look into all government inefficiency and see where the money is going, because I think if the people of this country all of a sudden got the information and they woke up, I think Starmer would be out within an instant. I think his whole government would crumble.
I think it's time not to wait for someone to come in and do a Trump. I think in the meantime, everyone now needs to make this our mission to find out exactly what's being spent, where it's being sent to, who, what for, and what on, who by, and see if we can gather as much of this information ourselves. A bit like what Rupert Lowe's doing with all these other things. But I think everyone now needs to attack this. In the correct way, before all the lefties start reporting me for some daft crap I'm not even saying. But in the correct way, let's all attack this politically. Freedom of information, SARs, write to people, email people, stand in elections, then you get access to information you wouldn't normally get.
Indeed. So, I think it's going to happen, and I think the Starmer administration is going to have to take into account the Trump effect. I think he's going to have to.
Well, they won't.
They've got to, Mark, because if
I know they've
got
to, John, but they'll do the opposite. They keep doing it. They'll double down, and that is how we win.
Well, okay, yes, I know. On the old saying, give somebody enough rope and they'll hang themselves.
Well, mate, they're literally cancelling each other. We'll talk about this at another point, but they're literally cancelling each other over WhatsApp groups and jokes and things they've said. So it's all coming back to bite them on the backside, isn't it, mate?
Let's finish that one, and we will be back. We will be back. And we missed the Gazelle. And Gazelle, if you're out there, okay, we hope that the work is covering you and what you need to do. But anyway, as regards to the Raven, well, we hope sometime in the very distant future, like 2060, that you get out of the oubliette and come back. Anyway, we're going to go. So there you go. Okay, sir. And also, we are going to be going on to a new platform. It's going to be more broadcast-like. So there you go.
Yeah, we're just having a little practice here with this, really, aren't we? But
indeed. And it's working out.
Yeah, it'll get better.
It's working out just well. So I'm going to fade that out, and then I'm going to stop the live broadcast. And there you go. So everybody knows that we can talk live. Unlike most of the Labour politicians, who when they open their mouths,
can't
type
talk
anything.
Can't talk.
And they get kicked out of the Labour Party. Yeah, we'll be talking about that as well.
Goodbye to our lovely listeners and viewers. See you soon.
Indeed. Let's give a stop to that. And we're going to be doing nice things like fade out, fade to black.
Oh, it's going to be really professional, isn't it? Once we can figure out how to do it.
Do it.